What's up, for a very special edition of Real Talk as the Academy Awards nomination dropped today. Nick isn't with me right now. Nick's got his other stuff he's got to take care of, but I am lucky enough to be joined by the amazing Geoff Alterman of the Schmoe Me The Money network.
Thank you very much for having me, man. I'm going to change my name here so people know that that's where I'm from.
Yeah.
There we go.
Perfect. At Schmoe Me The Money. There we go.
No, it's at Schmoe Me Money. You can't have Schmoe Me The Money because
it should be Schmoe. I know Buck said he'd hate it. It would make so much sense if it was Schmoe Me The Money.
I know, but it would also drive me crazy. So no.
Why?
Because
no, just why? Why would it drive you crazy?
I don't know, a bit of the OCD to be like, oh, everything else is Schmoe Me The Money, and then that one thing is Schmoe Me The Money. It would drive me crazy.
It's the same thing, though.
I know, but it's like that it's so slightly different in the one thing that it would be off, and you can't change it. Can't do that.
Fair.
I'd rather blame it on the character limit. Hi, Buck.
I'm the guy who likes to work within the character limit. No, we're here today to talk to you a little bit about the Academy Awards as their nominations dropped today, and we both had some thoughts about that.
Yes, we did.
So real
good,
quick,
bad, and confused.
Yes, real quick though, what was your biggest shock? Whether it was a snub or
all right. The biggest shock out of all of them, and it's a very specific kind of shock that I felt. It was in the Best Supporting Actor category. I was so glad to see that now Daniel Kaluuya is a 2-time Oscar nominee.
And probably going to get in.
We knew, I think he's going to probably win it. His biggest like threat, and maybe Sacha Baron Cohen, but like that's it. In terms of like award season, like steam behind him.
Yeah.
But I'm very happy now to see that Lakeith Stanfield is an Oscar nominee. But
right.
Why the fuck is he in the supporting category? He's the lead of the film, and also the studio even campaigned him for lead. This wasn't even a thing where the studio was committing campaign fraud or category fraud. How did this happen?
So we actually got the report on how it happened a few hours ago, and I gotta give props to Lon Harris for posting this. It was via Newsweek, and basically what it boils down to is that the Academy members can vote however they want, and they felt that both roles were supporting roles and not a lead. And in my mind, I'd be like, but doesn't that mean both roles are lead roles? Who's the lead? If they're both supporting, who's the lead?
So, Sacha Baron Cohen in supporting actor is just like Leslie Odom Jr. in supporting actor. They're both specific parts of an ensemble where no one person is the lead, and that is why those always work for putting them in supporting when they're an ensemble. This is a two-hander. They were both lead characters. I understand putting Daniel Kaluuya's Fred Hampton in supporting, because even though he had his own parts of the story where he went off and did his own stuff separate from Billie O'Neill, it was still it was still Billie O'Neill's story overall, the beginning, the end. Right. It was told from his perspective, even though we did see Fred Hampton's perspective from part of it. So I got them. I didn't think it was a total case of category fraud, even though he was a co-lead. He was still a secondary lead, I think.
Right.
Stanfield in supporting makes no sense. It's not an ensemble film. He's the lead of all of them. It doesn't make it drives me crazy to see that. It drives me more crazy to see that than to see if we had Schmoe Me The Money as our username.
Cheddar Goblin says, I would definitely say Lakeith is the lead. The story begins and ends with him as the main character. And yes, you're absolutely right.
Absolutely. Like, it bugs me. Other things that I found were surprising. I mean, maybe it's not a surprise, but I'm not necessarily thrilled that it still ended up this way with multi-Academy Award nominee Hillbilly Elegy.
Yeah, you and I both.
I would categorize that decision as a bad Terminator.
Yeah, let's see. It got Glenn Close for Best Supporting Role,
and then makeup and hairstyling. Because of the
okay,
makeup
that I can understand. That I can understand a little bit more.
It was the makeup and hairstyling for just Glenn Close, and Glenn Close did most of it, where she just kind of like hunched over.
Yeah,
she wore a wig and she put glasses on. That was it. I mean, obviously that's not it. I can't just discount whatever else they might have done with it, but like, I know that there was like a hiccup in there, but I mean, like, I'm really happy. A hiccup with like the Globes could possibly have influenced people. I'm very glad to see Maria Bakalova got in.
that was outside of Lakeith Stanfield, because you touched on my surprise. That was my other surprise. I'm like, all right, cool. Yeah, I didn't expect that. This was her, and considering that she's basically a first-time actress.
Yes, she's the one that I'm pulling for to win. I'm very happy to see Yoon Yoo-jung. I hope I'm pronouncing that correct, from Minari as well. And Paul Raci, I'm just so glad to see that he got in for Sound of Metal for supporting actor. He was heartbreaking in that film. I know I'm touching on supporting right now because I mean it's good. I feel like the best thing to do is maybe we just kind of go down.
Yeah, they're the two strongest. The category, actually, the supporting just actor in general is probably the strongest category this year. And I agree, because I mean, I happily, because I was like, I don't know who you support from One Night in Miami. I just knew it wasn't Aldous Hodge. He was good, but he was good, but he wasn't the other three. Yeah, exactly. He was good. He wasn't the other three. And as much as I'm a Cleveland Browns fan, Jim Brown just was barely involved in the story compared to the other three characters.
Yeah, no, I have been disappointed in the One Night in Miami awards campaign push, because I thought Leslie Odom Jr. wasn't necessarily like I thought he was better in terms of what the film was than like Aldous Hodge, although obviously everyone was great. But I was really pouring for Eli Gorey.
Yes.
And
okay.
Leslie
Cool.
Benedict. Like, are you like I thought that Eli Gorey was so good as Cassius Clay. Yes. And I was like, oh my God, he's so good. There's a chance that I could like him even more than Will Smith as Muhammad Ali / Cassius Clay.
He topped him. For me, at least. Yeah, he did top.
For me, he topped him the moment that he gets real sad and he looks in the mirror. And then he just starts questioning himself. And then he ends it with, and you just think, why am I so damn pretty? And I'm like, you are awesome. He was so good. Oh, man. But Ben's the King of Deer gave such a different side of Malcolm X than what we might than we normally see on film. And it worked so well.
Speaking of which, he was cast in Secret Invasion today. I don't know if you saw that.
No, because I've been working and playing games instead.
Yeah, so. He's been cast as the lead villain for Marvel's Secret Invasion.
Interesting.
Yes.
I don't know what that means, but cool.
I mean, it's the one with Nick Fury and Ben Mendelsohn's Skrull character. So.
Yeah, I mean, interesting. Like I don't know much about those stories, so I'm cool. I'm just glad to see that he's getting recognized and being put in bigger things.
Yeah.
So, I mean, Amanda Seyfried, I'm glad that she got in. She was my favorite part of Mank, which I found to be kind of cold and underwhelming.
It's one of the ones I've missed so far this year. I got to go back and watch it.
I think that Mank is going to be this year's Irishman in terms of tons of nominations, and I don't know, maybe it might eke out something like production design, I don't know, but I don't think it's going to come away with any big awards because there are better locks for a lot of them, and also it didn't get one key nomination, I think, which was original screenplay. There was the whole story of there's that whole personal story driving behind it for David Fincher about how it's like, oh, this was the project that his dad was working on, and his dad was the one that made it, and then he had to go in there and he was like, I'm gonna make my dad's film, and he's been trying to make it for like 25 years, and now it's finally made. And okay, cool, that's a great story behind why you were making the movie, but then it's very interesting that it didn't, and I don't think it was one of the best screenplays of the year. I found it very cold and inside baseball to a point where, I mean, like, it made perfect sense to me, but like, we're the people who talk inside that baseball. It's too alienating, I think, to a lot of people, and not to a point where it's okay that something's alienating, it could still be really good. I thought it was a fine movie with some good stuff in it that ultimately was underwhelming because of the pedigree behind it. And Jack Fincher not getting an Oscar nomination posthumously for Best Original Screenplay, I think, is telling for how the film might end up with the actual awards when people vote on the winners. But Olivia Colman in The Father. The Father is the one big title
I've yet to see that
I haven't seen, because fucking no one's seen it.
You're not wrong.
It was in like Toronto Film Festival or whatever, or one of those film festivals, and then like it was shown to its screeners have been sent out to people, and like that's it. It went into theaters it went into theaters like 2 weeks ago or a week ago, and then let me see when the 26th is. I think it is.
The 26th is next week.
So in just under 2 Fridays, in 2 Fridays, so just under 2 weeks from today, it'll be on VOD. So we'll be able to actually watch it for those who don't have access to early screeners. So I've heard she's great. I love Olivia Colman. But unlike last time around, I don't see her as being the favorite.
Yeah, I'm really gonna have to watch Hillbilly Elegy just because of this Glenn Close nomination, aren't I?
Yeah, it's you okay? Oh, that's why you didn't get the joke that it's bad term. Have you even watched the trailer for it?
No.
She's like in the trailer talking to like her grandkids. She's like, there are 2 kinds of people in this world. There are good Terminators and there are bad Terminators. And it's like, what kind of Terminator are you? And she's like, I'm the one in the middle. I'm like, you just fucking made that up.
Yeah, no, I have not seen that because I remember my dad was prepping for interviews for it this summer, and he was watching the preview screener he had sent, and he's like, yeah, it's not good. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna pass on doing a review for it.
It's not good. Glenn Close is like probably the best thing in there, but it's like she has the Oscar slot for playing a caricature of a person. She is playing a caricature of what you think like a deep South Appalachian type person.
Oh no, she's not. It's not Deep South. That's Southern Ohio. I know the film takes place in Southern Ohio.
That's right. That's right. Well, oh no, it's because they go back and forth between that and like Kentucky. Okay. So that's why I'm thinking South as well.
That's still not South. That's still Midwest, sadly.
I know, but like when you're in like fucking Philly here, everything that's like with that sort of accent is sort of South.
Fair.
But anyways, like that's the supporting categories. I don't really have anything else to say there. We kind of you asked the question, what was the biggest surprise, and then I just kind of went off on supporting actors for some reason.
You took my surprise. My 2 surprises were the supporting categories.
I think the best thing.
Lakeith getting nominated in Judas, I am happy about. Don't get me wrong, but one of the first things I tweeted when I saw that was, he is not the supporting actor. He is the lead. All. WB pushed him as the lead. Why are you trying to make him something he's not? Academy. And when you find out it wasn't on the Academy, you're like, okay, they either just loved him a lot and wanted him to have that award, because it was he's great in it. I don't think
fucking remove Gary Oldman from Mank. He's a grouchy old guy in that movie. He's nothing special.
Yeah, but there's still like 2 or 3 other performances you could probably put ahead of Lakeith for best best lead if you were to do that. You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, in looking at the other people in Best Actor, which I guess we'll just kind of transition to that one. I love 4 out of 5 of these picks, and I say that saying Anthony Hopkins only because I know what everyone has constantly been saying about him.
Yeah.
That and when I say love, it's with an asterisk. I'll probably love him as Best Actor. Just in the trailer, he looks incredible in there, and that seems to be like the kind of movie, like everything that we've heard is like that's the performance that if there was ever going to be anyone to threaten Chadwick Boseman's performance, it was going to be Anthony Hopkins. I mean, honestly, I would fucking take out Gary Oldman and put in Delroy Lindo from the Defy Blood.
That's exactly what I was about to get to. I was about to be like, as much as I wanted Delroy. Delroy made so much sense.
I convinced myself early on when Terrence Blanchard got the nomination for Best Original Score that there was going to be a surprise showing because everyone was like, Defy Bloods is out because they're not even like getting anything anywhere. I convinced myself that it was going to end up and Delroy was going to sneak in and be that surprise actor nominee. Nope. Academy let me down again. The surprise was Lakeith Stanfield as Best Supporting Actor. But I mean, the other big surprise that's not a huge surprise, it was more like it could be a dark horse candidate, and I'm really glad to see it happen with Steven Yeun and Yun Yen. I want to make sure I pronounce it correctly. In Minari, because he was great in that film. He's so good. I'm really glad to see Minari get picked up in the way it did. I really think that A24 at this point is like it's a mini major now. It's not like some small studio. It's won Best Picture. It's been able to like hit in a lot of ways and have all this crossover. And
by the way,
Minari is no exception.
Real quick, if you want to support Delroy Lindo, go ahead and we just posted something in the comments to superyaki.com.
What's superyaki.com?
Oh,
wait, let me see this. This
is a website for you. I know you'd love this site.
Nominate. Oh man, this seems like the kind of people that would have like made the same exact shirt that would have said "Nominate Tony Collette, you cowards."
They did
from like Hereditary.
They also have a "I'm a fan of Kathy" Jan shirt. The Mummy 1999 is perfect. A film by Laura Ephron, a Guillermo del Toro film.
That's great.
Birds of Prey.
Wow. I'll have to
like this. This is a site made for you.
All right, I'll have to check that out later. But anyways, I mean, this actor, I'm glad to see Riz Ahmed get in there for Sound of Metal. I think the nomination is as far as he's going, but I loved him in the film. Chadwick Boseman is guaranteed. He's winning. I think he's absolutely going to be.
What's up, Jeff? Another Jeff
with the same spelling. I think that this is definitely the Heath Ledger effect, the Peter Finch effect. He's going in posthumously for the win.
Because I think they realized this. There was definitely other options in the past few years to nominate him. I still find it criminal that he was not nominated for 42.
Really? I would have preferred him for like Get On Up.
I like to Get On Up, but I think 42 hit me in a different way.
Yeah, because I saw 42 for the first time last year, and I thought that's a good movie with a very good performance by Chadwick Boseman. So, you know where he should have been nominated? He should have been nominated for Gods of Egypt because he's the only guy who knew what the fuck that movie was.
No, for me, 42, that film came out like right around the time BLM started to become a thing.
Gotcha.
So that was April 20, if I remember correctly, April 2013. And it was just shortly after the Trayvon Martin stuff happened. And just to have the scene that always sticks with me and haunts me is the scene where he goes into the dugout and just slams the bat on the wall. I'm like, if he were to be nominated, that would be the scene you'd play.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I'm glad though that he is nominated.
Yeah.
He's gonna win. It like there was a time where it looked like he was gonna be double posthumously nominated because of The Five Bloods. But as we see, I think Netflix put their full weight behind him for Ma Rainey.
I think they should put their full weight behind them for both.
Yeah, but also, like as you could see, Netflix had Mank,
a killer
they
year.
had Trial. They had Mank. They had Trials of Chicago 7. They had Ma Rainey's Black Bottom, and they had The Five Bloods as
Which
like
they didn't push at all. I can tell you that for almost.
It's obvious that because it was it landed in the middle of summer, and then they forgot about their own fucking movie from the looks of it.
I'm sorry, but I would have pushed that over Trial of Chicago 7.
Same. Trials Chicago 7 happened to connect more with people because of current events, and so they were trying to capitalize on that. I like Trials Chicago 7 a lot. I don't think that it's as good as I didn't say love it either. I said I
was just saying you don't love it because I don't love it either.
I like it a lot. I don't think I like it maybe quite as much as when I first watched it, but I still like it quite a bit. It is very disappointing though that The Five Bloods didn't get like the kind of push that it needed. It was the first movie of 2020 that I was like, yes, I'm giving this a 5 out of 5 on. And it's still one of the very few that actually got a 5 out of 5.
I think I actually gave it a 5 out of 5. I either gave it a 4.5 out of 5 or a 5 out of 5.
I was like in between 4.5 and 5. What up, Shug?
What's up, Shug?
I was in between 4.5 out of 5 and 5 out of 5, and I'm like, fuck it. I feel like this is a 5 out of 5 to me, so I'm just gonna do it. Because I try to not like I don't know, like
give out fives.
Yeah,
I agree.
Because fives are like that is a fucking masterpiece or something. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, actor, like I said, I wish Gary Oldman was in there because of everyone like fucking focusing on it, but I don't know. Once again, Mank left me cold. At first I was like 3.5, and then I convinced myself, no, go up to 4. And now I'm like, actually, am I at like a 3? Because I'm still positive. I'm just not like, super positive on it.
Can't blame me for that. Can't blame me at all.
If we look at Best Actress, interesting mix. And by that I mean to say Pieces of a Woman and United States versus Billie Holiday have the same
that's the
thing
shocker to me.
So the two of them have the same thing that happened. They have a movie with one very strong lead performance,
and the rest
doesn't deserve that performance in it. It is a Pieces of a Woman. I am like barely positive because of Vanessa Kirby, but it is a great performance in honestly not a good movie overall. Like the story and everything, I'm like, I don't know how I feel about this.
See, I haven't seen.
I don't think it's that great.
So I'm gonna let you take the lead on this one.
It's I don't know. I felt really mixed watching it. Like I didn't enjoy watching it, and that's fine. Sometimes dark dramas and whatnot, you don't have to enjoy them. But I mean, like, I wasn't necessarily like when I say enjoy, I mean to say like I wasn't like so enthralled with the product as it was going on. But she was always great in it. Andra Day in the United States versus Billie Holiday, she was really good too. But Lee Daniels can't really like make a good movie, so he that movie had like 5 different tones. I haven't watched The Butler yet because I've had like no interest in watching The Butler. It's on my watch list.
Movie. It's probably his best movie, honestly.
Yeah, does that include Precious, the only one that broke through?
I wasn't a big fan of Precious, I'm not gonna lie. So
yeah, I mean, like I wasn't. That Precious felt a lot like misery porn to me. United States versus Billie Holiday is it's a mixed bag because there are interesting things in it, but it also is a huge clash of tone. It kept changing how it wanted to portray a story, and it felt like this, like 5 different voices were all trying to tell the story at any given point. And it felt all over the place. And then after all that was done, I was like, well, she was good in it. I wasn't like, oh my God, this is incredible. She got the Golden Globe because her movie just hit right when voting was finishing up for the Golden Globes. It's obvious when that sort of stuff happens. She was the new ingenue, and they wanted to award her for it, and that's cool. And I hope that she goes on and does like more great stuff, more stuff where she's more deserving of the film around her, or the film is more deserving of her. Because I think that she has talent to go really far. I just don't think that this is going to be her year, because it's not the film that deserves it with the performance that deserves it. Viola Davis is just fucking great. She's so good. Yeah. She was so good in that movie. She and Chadwick Boseman, and I mean, like, if there was a supporting actor that should have gotten nominated that wasn't, it should have been, I'm forgetting his name.
Glenn Turman?
It's Glenn Turman. That's exactly. I was going to say, it's not Coleman Domingo. It's Glenn Turman. Glenn Turman, and he's incredible, and I hope that any awards recognition for him just gets like he can like make up for it with season 4 of Fargo when like supporting actor stuff comes around for that, because he's so good in that show and he's so good in the movie, and I wish that more stuff was pushed for him. But Viola Davis, great. I can see her winning, but she does have some pretty stiff competition.
I was just about to say, to me, it's a 3-woman race. I think Andra Day and Vanessa Kirby are there to be nominated, and that's it. But realistically, it's probably between Frances McDormand, Carey Mulligan, and Viola Davis. Which, by the way, Viola Davis, as of today, is the most nominated Black actress in the history. So,
with 4,
yes,
and like, what
is
that? Probably
going to collect a few more.
Absolutely, she fucking better. She better. She's so good. Like I thought Ma Rainey's Black Bottom was very good. I felt like, and it was the same thing I felt like with Fences, which was also very good.
Both August Wilson products too.
Yeah, I think that there's something to do with both of them where it feels very much like a play.
Yeah,
it feels very stagey, and I think that they're really good performance pieces that don't always necessarily lend themselves to the full cinematic might that film brings.
Yeah.
Which is funny, because as opposed to One Night in Miami,
which was fantastic. But I think
One Night in Miami,
I get what you're saying there. I think that's because of the scope of them both. Because in One Night in Miami, you're in the big busy city of Miami. There's stuff to do. In this, you're in a building, going from the upstairs to the downstairs.
Yeah, but I mean, there are parts where they go out in the streets and they're running around the streets too. Meanwhile, but not as much.
Right.
But also, One Night in Miami has like the first less than a third, almost the first third, we'll say, is out in the city. But then the rest of it all, they're in the fucking hotel room the whole time, and it still doesn't feel stagey. And I don't know. I don't know if it's just like, there's obviously, I'm not an expert when it comes to that's the way that but the structures of these people in confined spaces, both adapted from
August
stage
Wilson
plays, is well, I mean, I'm also
you're talking about
Miami versus Ma Rainey. They both are they're both very good. I think the comparison on that front, majority chunks of both films are in close space, in like smaller spaces, dealing with a select group of people. And I think it shows, I think, how One Night in Miami can work better as a fully fledged cinematic experience than Ma Rainey did. But Ma Rainey, I think, it was more of a performance piece than anything. So Viola Davis went big, and it pays off.
Yes.
Which is very funny, because Frances McDormand went the complete other direction. If you look at her big nominations, most of her nominations for Frances McDormand, she always goes big in a way. Like
and
Fargo,
this time she didn't.
Yeah, Fargo. And that speaks to just how good Frances McDormand is. She's so good.
I mean, even three billboards more recently, like,
yeah,
big performance for the subject
big
matter.
Performance. Yeah, it was a big performance. Fargo, big, and also like, you know, very like almost caricature-y where people, but it works because it's all part of the film as opposed to like a single person.
Right.
Um, like, you know, her and Almost Famous getting that Oscar nomination, that was like big. That was very big as well. I haven't seen North Country, so I can't speak to that. But she's always very like what she does feels like it's kind of smothering the rest of the film with just how big she is or how important she is. Nomadland, she just like, you know, her character, she's just passing through. It feels, and it's so good as well. And Carey Mulligan is interesting.
See, if I'm going to be honest, Carey Mulligan is, and as much as I love Viola Davis, I would go Carey Mulligan here. That's just me personally.
Carey Mulligan, Promising Young Woman, until I go back and rewatch The Five Bloods and Sound Metal. Promising Young Woman was number one movie of 2020.
I have issues with Promising Young Woman. That's me
I
personally.
Can see where some people have issues, and I know some people have issues with it for sure.
My big issue is like well directed, well performed, but predictable as all get out. And for something that's supposed to be a thriller, that's what like really brought the grade down for me.
I gotcha. And for me, things I found predictable, I didn't mind because I thought everything else worked so well. And to me, predictability isn't necessarily a hindrance if it's like it feels inevitable. And a lot of predictability were things that I found to feel inevitable. So I get what you're saying though, and makes sense. But it's funny you mentioned best like well directed. So I mean, we can just kind of transition right into the directors there.
Yeah, the directors.
That was a transition.
Yeah,
interesting bunch. First off the bank, no Sorkin. Good job, guys. Good job, Academy. He did a fine job. He was not Oscar worthy with the directing. Mank, you could have taken him out and put in Spike Lee.
Put Spike Lee in. Thank you.
But then again, the more I think about it, I think The Five Bloods is my favorite movie of last year. So I'm going to rewatch that soon.
It is mine.
I'm going to rewatch that and probably go back to it. I got to say, obviously, the big surprise, and I thought, I thought this last night too. It ran through my head. I thought about last year's Oscars with Pavel blah 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 for Cold War.
Okay.
He got in as like a surprise best director nominee. Like sometimes the director nominees have like one wild card one. And for a while I thought, all right, well, because Sorkin and Fincher are basically locks because they fucking love it, and we Zhao is to get in. I'm hopeful Emerald Fennell gets in for Promising Young Woman. So what's the wild card going to be? And I'm like, ooh, wouldn't it be cool if maybe Lee Isaac Chung will get in? That'll be very cool. I thought he was the dark horse, like Steve Yeun.
No, I felt he was. I felt he was a lock, but that's just me personally.
But in my head, I thought if there was a crazy thing, if there was a crazy nomination, because to me, I thought as disappointing as it was, I mean, Regina, as the results are of it, Regina King, I didn't think was going to end up getting in. It would have been very cool, but it wasn't her time. But I thought if there was going to be a crazy thing like Cold War last year to happen, it might be Thomas Vinterberg for another round. Because I watched another round. I watched another round, and it's in my top 10 of last year. It is. I love the film, and then it has probably my favorite end to any film of last year. There is like a needle drop, and the way the scene plays out after everything. I've watched the scene I found on YouTube, and I've watched it like 15 times since I've seen the movie earlier this year. And it works so well, and it's not the movie that you think it's going to end up being based on a premise. Do you know the premise of Another Round, right?
No, I don't.
I haven't. Apparently his name is Moss Mikkelsen, by the way, not Mads Mikkelsen or Mads. Anyway, Mickelson and company. They're four teachers who all are like,
oh wait,
they're
that movie?
spinning their
Never
wheels.
mind.
They're miserable. And yeah, for anyone else watching that didn't know, they're miserable. And then they're like, all right, well, what if we just start like, because they knew of like this hypothesis of like, what if we just add a little bit of alcohol into our bloodstream for the whole workday and see how that affects us? And their lives start to improve. And then it's about like, well, and then it's this experiment about like, what happens if we continue to add a little more as time goes on? Yes, that's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. That's the end, and I loved it. Not a spoiler because there's no context. And it doesn't go in the way that you think it may go, because especially with the trailer, and like it's a dark comedy, but it's definitely also a drama. It's definitely like a dark dramedy. I'm very glad to see Thomas Vinterberg get in here. Very disappointed. I mean, that there's no Spike Lee. Disappointed that there's no Regina King necessarily. I mean, I understand Regina King, but like, if any, who else would have been an awesome nominee in this category? Shaka King.
Yep. And see, this is one of those things that it bugs me, because I'm like, you got your two leads, both nominated. You're nominated for Best Picture, if I remember correctly, Best Original Screenplay. Best Original Screenplay, Best Original Song. Like, okay, I'm a little biased here. I was pissed that it wasn't nominated for sound, and of course, this was the year that sound got put into two categories, because I know
why. Yeah,
I know the guy who did the sound for, and I was really pulling for him to be Oscar nominated.
The sound thing really bugs me, and I mentioned it to you before about just how it's been combined, because there are two different things. So, but let's go to, you mentioned screenplay. I want to talk about picture last, really, because I have some issues.
Yes.
But screenplay, when you go to original screenplay
or adapted, all right, original.
We'll do original first. Original, I'm fine with all of these. Honestly, I'm fine with them. However, once again, it's almost like, I get why it's in there, but it is also kind of distracting knowing there are like full-on pieces of dialogue that have been pulled from previous Sorkin things.
And it's just horrible comparatively.
Like, I would have been fine removing Trial of Chicago 7. I get why it's in there, but out of these five, I would remove Trial of Chicago 7, and I would put in Da 5 Bloods. Again,
I can't believe. This is just how film Twitter feels. Film Twitter is enraged today because they loved 5 Bloods, and the 5 Bloods got no love.
Now, by the way,
Lee doesn't get any love.
We're saying this, and I understand how many other people on film Twitter, and I watched this movie too. I thought it was very good, and maybe I'll give it another shot, and it'll be even better for me. But one thing that I look at and I don't think about when it comes to these,
so for original screenplay, I think he's talking about, and
I get it. I don't think it's one of like the top screenplays necessarily. When you compare it to some of the other ones, I get a lot of the stuff is like why, but I don't know. I'm not as upset about that. I do think that where was I going with this when it came to original screenplay? There was something. I can't remember what it was. But no Chicago Trial 7. I would have put in Da 5 Bloods. First Cow. That was what I was going to say. So many people fucking love Justice for First Cow is all over the place. I watched it and I'm like, yeah, that's a really good movie. And then I moved on. Some people fucking loved it. Some people fucking love it. And then I also look at this and I'm like, oh, you know what else some people are like really probably upset about? Never, Rarely, Sometimes, Always. I watched that movie and I'm like, oh, that's a really good movie.
I saw one person mention it today.
And then I forgot about it. And excuse me, it didn't hit me the way some others did. I would have probably preferred it in some categories than maybe some other things. Like, hell, I probably would have preferred whoever the fuck the girl is that stars in that, because I don't remember it. So like I don't know, Andra Day or Andra Day more than I don't know, or Vanessa Kirby, one of those two.
Yeah.
Either. I don't want either of them in there, but that's it. The rest of them, I'm very happy with Sound of Metal's performance in a lot of these categories. Promising Young Woman was a given. Minari was, I think, pretty much a given. Judas and the Black Messiah, I think, was the big surprise, actually, because to me, leading up to the Oscars, like when you listen to like prognosticators and like the predictions and whatnot, I'm happy that it's in there. It's deserving. It felt like for a while there, leading up to like just last night, to me, I know you were pulling for sound and everything, that maybe it would somehow get a Best Picture nomination, but it could be one of those years where it was definitely going to get Kaluuya, and I didn't know what else it was going to end up actually getting. And I thought maybe there's a chance where because when it landed right before with all the voting, it can get Best Picture and Best Supporting Actor and be one of those movies that gets 2 nominations.
And you were surprised you didn't get all of these.
And it got more, and I'm like, awesome. I love it. There are multiple people nominated for that one award for Will Burst and Shaka King, and then I guess you also get an Oscar if you have a story by credit for Burst and Shaka King, the Lucas Brothers, which I'm like, the Lucas Brothers. I fucking see them on Comedy Central, and I mean the only movie on here that has more nominees than this one for one thing is Delroy Lindo. Absolutely, he should have gotten it. And honestly, I love Boseman's performance. I would have been okay if Lindo actually won if he was nominated.
I would have been okay if Lindo won, but I
like specifically Lindo for Defy Bloods. Like, absolutely. But as I was saying, as this segue worked really well in my head, the only movie that had more people listed on the nominee list for the award than Judas and the Black Messiah screenplay is Borat's screenplay credits for adapted screenplay. I think it's a record for 9 people. Nina Pedrad, who I believe is an SNL alum. She was the woman who played the Princess Jasmine's servant that like gets together with Will Smith's.
I don't know if that's. I think that might be someone related. Because let me check.
No, I'm looking. I'm pretty sure it's Nina Pedrad. Nina Pedrad. Am I thinking of someone else? Actually, I'm thinking Nassim. I'm thinking Nassim.
Yeah, you're thinking Nassim. That's like. I don't know if you're right about that.
Yeah, I guess. Oh, yeah, her sister is Nina Pedrad. Yes. She's Nassim Pedrad. Okay, never mind. They did not, in fact, nominate the servant that hooks up with Will Smith's genie for an Oscar. However, let's see. Let's go through this list here. We got Sacha Baron Cohen.
Oh, you want to go through the list of? Oh, go ahead. Take it away, Jeff.
There's a lot of people there. Yeah, they got Sacha Baron Cohen, who, by the way, now has been nominated twice for Borat screenplays, which is just even funnier considering just how much of the films are fucking improv and reactions from real people. So I don't know how that works, but I'm not mad about it. It's because when you think about what they had to do with rewriting how their film was going to go, because they were making it and then COVID hit.
Yep.
I thought when I watched it, I'm like, I really liked the movie. I loved it. But as I'm watching it though, and then COVID hits in there, and I'm like, oh my God, they made this all work despite having to obviously. They had to radically change stuff that they were doing with the movie, probably.
Right.
They Furious 7'd it.
This isn't the family show, Jeff. That we can talk about that on a Thursday.
But yeah, all these people. The one person I was looking for that I realized isn't nominated on there. I was gonna mention Nathan Fielder, but he's not one of the people on the screenplay credits.
Yeah.
I thought that he was, but then I mixed it up. He was one of the people behind Who Is America, so that's what I was mixing up with. Because I would have been like Nathan Fielder, the guy behind Nathan For You, an Oscar nominee. Are you kidding me? But no, he's not in there, unfortunately. The Father, still got to watch it. Very interested to see. It's another The Father, as you could, because I have the Wikipedia page up for these Academy Awards. It's based on a play. The guy who co-wrote and directed the film, based it on his own play.
I don't know what Finding Francis is.
Can you clarify? Can you go into more detail? Because I have issues with I have issues with the documentary category too. But that's another play one, so I'm excited to see that. Okay, I see what you mean. I'll definitely have to check it out because I've watched like an episode or two of Nathan For You, and I'm like, this is incredible. This is incredible stuff. But The Father is another play-based film, so I'm interested to see how that works.
You had a lot of play-based nominations this year. Now that I'm looking at it.
Yeah. Oh, but then speaking of that, because we also got One Night in Miami.
Miami with Kemp Powers.
So Kemp Powers didn't get an Oscar nomination for Soul, but he did get one for One Night in Miami. Very well deserved.
Yes.
Very well deserved there.
So
Nomadland.
One Night in Miami was the first film I watched in 2021.
My first one was Red, White, and Blue from Small Axe.
Okay. I know, because we had the award screener was at the house. It was a couple New Year's Eve, and Chris was in town visiting, and he wanted to watch it before he left. So we made sure to watch One Night in Miami early compared to everyone else. But
yeah, it's a great movie. I mean, that's a whole other thing that I'm not necessarily going to get into is why like the Small Axe films were like a TV anthology and not a movie anthology. But
that's why they were nominated for TV with the Globe. But then again, it's the Globes.
It's the Globes, so fucking whatever. I think Steve McQueen probably was the best director of last year, but Nomadland is probably like the head-on winner for best director, but Chloe Zhao got nominated in multiple categories just for herself.
Yeah.
For writing, I watched The Rider and I thought The Rider was very good, but it didn't click.
The Robert Pattinson film?
No, The Rider is with a bunch of non-actor people, and it was fine. Like it was very good. I didn't really click with it the way that so many other people seem to click with it, but I thought that Nomadland was just wonderful. Like I thought it was one of the best movies of the year. And then last night, I had a feeling it was going to happen, so I made sure to watch it. The White Tiger. Have you seen The White Tiger yet?
No, I have not. Where can I watch that?
It's a Netflix film.
Okay.
So it's another Netflix nomination, but this one in its own category that they can now push for that thing. Nomadland. I mean, it could probably go to One Night in Miami because it didn't get the Best Director and Best Picture nom, so it could be like a swell of support for Kemp Powers. But The White Tiger is, I feel like one way to look at it is it feels like Slumdog Millionaire is like a really idealistic portrayal of like Indians growing up in that caste system, like from the slums, and like a really like positive portrayal of like how you can get out of it.
Yeah.
And then with The White Tiger is like, no, that's fucking wrong. That movie, The White Tiger, feels like it's like this huge rebuke to anyone who thinks that Slumdog Millionaire is remotely like realistic. It's funny and it's dark, and I liked it quite a bit last night, and this morning I like it even more today. I think it's really strong from Ramin Barani. I know that Priyanka Chopra, when she was reading the nominees off this morning, she got to read the nominations for Best Adapted Screenplay, and she's a producer and co-star of this film, of The White Tiger. And I mean, I can't wait to see more stuff from like Ramin Barani. I haven't seen much from him. I know that he made Fahrenheit 451 on HBO, which I'm not a fan of. I haven't seen 99 Homes, which I know is supposed to be really good as well. So he's done some other stuff with economic disparity, but I feel like White Tiger is on a whole nother level for him with that. And then, of course, the lead actor from the White Tiger, Adarsh Gaurav. I'm really excited to see him show up in more stuff because it felt like this could be a big break for him. But yeah, I mean, those are the adapted screenplay ones. I don't have any problems with any of them.
Nope.
I don't have any problems
I'm
with them.
probably pulling for One Night at Miami just because,
Yes,
like we said,
I'm pulling for One Night in Miami.
When you don't give the director, yeah, like I've got partway through Nomadland. I like it, but I'm not overly in love with it like a lot of people are.
I get it. I think for me, it was that's how I felt with The Rider. But for Nomadland, for me, I think it was just like watching it in one sitting, and it was the cumulative effect of just the film and how it left me.
Yeah.
And sometimes that happens. Sometimes it doesn't leave you as strong, like it doesn't hit you as much because it feels very similar in a lot of ways to The Rider, but somehow I like Nomadland much more. I think Nomadland I have is like my number 4 of the year. Okay. Who knows? Maybe it'll move around. I mean, animated feature. I'm pretty glad that Croods didn't get in there because it was in like everyone's predictions.
I am very happy.
3 days to watch that.
I'm very happy that Onward got in there because that was one of the last films I saw before the shutdown. I know it got middling reviews, but personally, as someone who is an older brother, that movie hit me hard in a way I did not expect.
Yeah, I am also an older brother. It did not hit me that same way, but but it's very good. I think that it was a very enjoyable movie that didn't do as much with its world that it wanted to build that it could have, but then the ending really hit in the emotional way that you would expect, but in a surprising way, in a way that you didn't expect. Yes. You knew you were going to be hit emotionally, but it was surprising in how it actually happened. A Shaun the Sheep movie, Farmageddon, is fun. It's not as good as it's on Netflix. It's not as good as the first Shaun the Sheep movie, which is just a total delight. This one, very fun, silly, good for kids. That's really it. Soul, of course, and Wolfwalkers is fucking gorgeous. I have yet to
watch Wolfwalkers. It is on my list. So I got to ask you if you had.
That's Apple TV.
Yeah, I know. I got to ask you, which one you pulling for?
Ooh, I haven't seen Over the Moon, so I can't speak to Over the Moon, which is on Netflix. So I mean, I want Soul to win because it feels like it really works so well in a lot of ways. But I wouldn't be mad at all to see Wolfwalkers somehow eke out the victory.
So I haven't seen Over the Moon or Shaun the Sheep or Wolfwalkers. Tell you this. I'm not the biggest fan of Soul. I've had issues with the whole.
I know exactly what you're gonna say. That whole thing.
That whole thing.
Let's have our first lead black actor character, and then let's also put him in a fucking cat, and then have him voiced by a white woman.
Yep. Not a fan of that at all.
And I get it, which is interesting. That someone who was able to adapt and handle themes of race so well in One Night in Miami, kind of didn't in Soul.
Right. I mean, don't get me wrong. That film is still inherently black. There's a lot. It touches on black culture nicely, but you could have had. Yeah, that barbershop scene is great.
But the animation on just the animation for like the hair and everything, like that's like I was appreciating everything in the culture in there, but I'm also like, oh my god, just the way that they're able to get the hair.
Yep.
Oh my god.
But Man, that one thing like ruined the entire film for me.
Yeah, so I know you're probably, from what you've seen, you're probably pulling for Onward.
Yeah.
Yeah. I would put Wolfwalkers above Onward for me. But yeah.
I mean, I'm like I said, I'm going based off of what I have seen.
Of course,
I got to get
same.
more back into the animated films. I wish Raya came out like a month or so later, because that would be my pick.
That would be my pick too. I mean, I think I like Soul overall more, but I also have to like gestate, I think, a little more with Raya, because Raya might actually be a 4.5 instead of a 4 for me.
I think I gave it a 4, but I like it more and more. I think about it, probably up to a 4.5.
Yeah, this is now a Raya review, guys. It works so well. There's no romance in there. There's none of that stuff. But maybe there will be a romance later. But Disney on everything.
It was hinted at. Let's be honest. It was hinted at.
Yeah, everything's hinted in Frozen as well. But rather than go forward with it, they had her become a fucking ice wizard spirit instead, because they're like, nope, none of that. But how do I do it? Frozen is sort of like Scandinavian in nature.
Yes.
Very, very European. Europe is an international area. Anyways, international features. We got some interesting stuff. I mean, for me, I definitely think what are we talking about? I mean,
we're on the best animated feature, and how we both, if Raya was able to be nominated, would both want Raya, be pulling for Raya.
Yeah. International feature though, haven't seen Better Days, haven't seen Collective, which is
not seen a single one.
I think Better Day Collective is the second film in as many years to be nominated for both international feature and documentary, because of Honeyland previously, the Turkish film about the woman who collects honey. Haven't seen the only one of these that I've seen is Another Round, and because Another Round is like one of my absolute favorite films of 2020, that's my pick. I don't know what these other movies are except for Collective. Collective, everything I've heard about it, it sounds vital and anger-inducing and frustrating, like infuriating. So I know I gotta watch Collective. Though.
Yes.
I don't have anything else to say. Yeah. I love Another Round.
Like literally, I got. Let's see. I can talk score, song, best sound, costume. Like it's the shorts and documentaries, and you just touch international feature. I got nothing to say on those
until I see Collective. And Crip Camp and my Octopus Teacher and the Mole. Actually, I've been interested in watching all those documentaries. The only one I've watched from this list is Time, a documentary. And Time is incredible. It's so good.
What's it about?
It's on Amazon Prime. Okay, so it's about a married couple, except the husband went to jail. And he went to jail because I think he tried to rob a place. He got arrested, and it's about the time that's passed because she just happened to be recording her family over her life of like the 20 some odd years that he's in jail while she's trying to figure out ways to work to get him out of jail while also dealing and raising her family, knowing that there's a father figure that wants to be there they couldn't afford stuff. That's why he tried to rob some place. And it's just this 20-year period of trying to just of the family trying to get by while also dealing with the fact that they don't have their father there, and it's not because the father doesn't want to be there. And it has one of the and I know it's a documentary, so I mean, of course, it happens to be real life, but it has one of the best endings to any film of 2020 as well. Which,
by the way, just breaking news an hour ago, Paramount makes it official that the Indiana Jones films will be releasing on 4K Ultra on June 8th. Paramount makes it official.
Paramount?
They're Paramount films, technically, yeah. The story rights belong to Lucasfilm, but the films are still Paramount films.
Huh.
So you will probably never get a Indiana Jones 5-pack unless Disney buys Paramount.
Paramount's always been on the verge of like someone's gonna buy them.
So is Sony.
Yeah. So but that's it. That's all I have to say about that. I don't have anything to say about the short films.
Yeah.
I watched Burrow. Burrow's very cute. Production. I don't know. Costume design, great. Emma got in there. I'm happy.
Yes,
about that.
Emma, Ma Rainey. As much as I don't like the movie Mulan
Same.
definitely deserved it. I did not care for that movie whatsoever. And I had somebody try to tell me, "Oh, you're just mad there's no Mushu." I'm like, no. If you go back and I'm on, you can go back in the past episodes of Real Talk. I was on like, I'm fine with no Mushu. Just give me a good story, and it looks like a good story. And I was wrong.
I'm also like fucking annoyed at Amazon Prime for being like, yeah, let's release Coming to America on March 5th, right outside of this extended eligibility period, because that film deserves a costumes Oscar.
Mm-hmm. It's probably one of the few things it deserves. But as much as I like that film, there is only a few.
Yeah, I enjoy it, but that's I hold on one second.
It probably would have. I don't know what Pinocchio film this is.
It's an Italian film with Roberto Benigni, which is funny because Roberto Benigni made that Pinocchio film 20 years ago that was supposed to be like the worst thing ever.
Yeah.
Where he plays Pinocchio, but also like he's a grown man playing a wooden little boy. And I think like the English dub had like Breckin Meyer voicing over him.
Oh,
like
God.
very, very bizarre. I got to check that movie out. That's one of the bizarre movies I still got to check out. But now he's like Geppetto, and it's supposed to be much, much better. I guess. Like, yeah. Makeup and hairstyling is like it's exactly as you'd expect with this sort of stuff. If you go down, here's a surprise. Actually, is in visual effects. I was delighted.
Oh, Love and Monsters.
Love and Monsters got in. Love and Monsters, very fun, very enjoyable movie. I enjoyed it quite a bit. It was a surprise how much I enjoyed it. Like it was surprisingly very good. And on top of that, I didn't think I would because it's written by Brian Duffield. And he's the guy who wrote Underwater with Kristen Stewart last year.
Yes.
And he wrote The Babysitter with Samara Weaving on Netflix.
Oh, okay, that's not yikes. That's
It's but it's only because Samara Weaving makes
That is correct.
Because it's a McG film. And he wrote Jane Got a Gun, which is apparently not that great. However, 2020 was a huge year for him because he was an executive producer. He did not write The Babysitter Killer Queen, which is apparently fucking awful.
It's not as good.
I didn't watch it. I meant to watch it, but I'm like, there's no like.
Here, hold here. I'll say this: it is still fun. Like it's dumb, bad fun, which was what The Babysitter was.
Yeah,
it's just worse. More.
And then I didn't like Underwater. And I really enjoyed Love and Monsters, but more than any of those films, Brian Duffield had made. He had his directorial debut where he wrote and directed Spontaneous.
Ooh, I heard great things about Spontaneous.
I love Spontaneous. That one's really good. But anyways, that was a surprise. Midnight Sky, okay, whatever.
I'm gonna be honest. We all know Tenet's winning this.
Yeah, I get it. Tenet should win it for the visual effects. That makes sense. One and Only Ivan is a weird.
That was choice. I was about to say that did not. I didn't.
I watched that movie. I forgot the movie as soon as it ended. I'm like, how do I describe it? I don't remember what happened.
I love those kind of movies because those are the movies I hate the most. I love them in an ironic way because those are the ones I hate the most to review because I'm always like, shit, what the fuck am I supposed to say?
That's the worst kind of movie to me is like when movies are actively awful. I love talking about them. I love Cats. Okay. I love that sort of shit. I love it. Movies that have literally no impression, that's what hurts.
What up, party?
What's up? So, I mean, one thing I'm very glad about in sound is Sound of Metal. I watched that movie and I knew that it was going to play with the sound that goes with deafness a lot just from watching the trailer. So rather than watch it on my big screen TV that I got or anything like that, I intentionally watched it on my laptop with these noise canceling headphones so that I can just sit there in silence and just be able to appreciate the sound and experience the sound as well. And I think it actually made the viewing experience even better for me for the film because I was able to feel the deafness of it more.
So we
too. I mean, we talked about it.
Yeah, we broke it down. There's a Newsweek article you can find that explains it. Basically, the Academy rode the entire situation. That's what it boils down to. But yeah, Tenet should win that. I'm looking at when I look at production design, and this just ties into Tenet. Like Ma Rainey, I'd probably do Ma Rainey or Tenet personally. News of the World is
for
fine.
For which one are we looking at now?
Production design.
Yeah. Production design. Absolutely. I'm scrolling up here to get back to that. Yeah, The Father we haven't seen, but everything I've actually heard about the production design with it is supposed to be really great because a lot of it takes place in his apartment. And the thing is though, because he's going through dementia and he's constantly like not remembering how things are, and it's stuff like, well, hold on a minute, was that thing blue or was it white? Or was this that? And so the production design keeps changing.
And so it's similar to I'm thinking about ending things.
Yes, except I'm guessing that I will like it more than I'm thinking about ending things.
I gave up with that movie a half hour in. I said, nope, I'm not doing it.
Oh, well, the final act of that movie is I don't even know.
It was explained to me.
I watched it, and I thought it was incredible when I first watched it, right? And then I sat and I thought about it. So when I first watched it, I'm like, yes, this is a 4.5 out of 5. Maybe it'll be better. And then I thought about it, and now I'm at a 3.
You sound like me with Snyder Cut.
Yeah, well, I mean, you've seen the Snyder Cut, so
2.5 times.
2.5 times, yeah, because people have the time to do that. Let's see what else is there. But a production design for News of the World, that's cool. Yes, it does. It's in theaters next Friday, not this coming Friday. Next Friday, it will be on VOD, so we'll be able to actually check it out.
Sean, nice to see you in here.
Mank, there's a lot of great production and design stuff, but also I saw someone that made a comment that that made me kind of chuckle about it, and that's someone was like, yes, Mank, production design. I love that CGI fireplace. News of the World had good production design. It was a really strong film. I thought I really liked it a lot. Tenet, I think Tenet's production design was great though. There was a lot about it that really worked. I'd love to see Ma Rainey's win just so that way, like, yeah. Cinematography, all that's gorgeous. I don't know. Actually, I don't think that Manx was actually as great as everyone thinks. It was good, but it also was like, even though it was trying to, Fincher was like, I want you to watch it and think that you just discovered this forgotten old classic film reel, and that's what you're watching. And I'm like, nope, it's definitely very digital looking.
Yeah. For cinematography, I'd probably go with Nomadland from the part that I've seen of it, or Judas and the Black Messiah. Those are the two. Yeah. Judas sticks out in a different way. Yeah,
Judas definitely sticks out in a different way. I absolutely understand what you mean from that. I would also probably I really liked the look and the feel from the cinematography of News of the World. It was a different kind of Western to me. It felt like I don't know. That one just worked really, really well for me. I don't care about hair and makeup.
We touched on that already.
All I'm going to do is complain about Hillbilly Elegy again.
Hey, you gave Emma the props. It's all you need to give when it comes to
sound makes sense with everything that got a sound nomination. Greyhound had great sound work. And I really
still pissing me off.
I know. I really like Greyhound more now than I did when I first watched it. Actually,
that's fair.
It's like it is a. Have you seen Greyhound?
That feels like forever ago, like a March of last year,
June or July of last year.
Oh, really? Wow.
Yeah, July of last year. It was dropped on Apple TV because of COVID. Tom Hanks co-wrote it. And it's a naval battle film.
Yeah, but I know the premise. I saw parts of it.
Right, but what's so great about it is it is a dad movie through and through. It is the nuts and bolts of just executing a naval battle. There is no fat on it. There is like one tiny scene at the beginning and at the very end to try to be like kind of establish a tiny bit about Tom Hanks. And it's like, it's not a spoiler. It's like, oh, once he's done with all that, he'll finally be able to marry his ingenue or whatever, who's Elizabeth Shue. And I'm like, yeah, okay. I don't care about your family life. Actually, just pray on the fucking boat. Get back to the boat. And that's it. It was there's like they do tiny little things like try and get you to like feel like he's a real character, and they kind of work. They do like their serviceable thing, but there is no fat on that movie. It is all naval battle, and that is all it wants to be. Fair. And I'm like, yes, that's what I like.
Yeah.
At this point, we got best picture, I think.
Oh no, we got best score and original song.
Oh shit, that's right. I forgot about this. I forgot about the music. It's right past that.
I think this year more than others, the original song is Any Horse's Race. Would I like to see Speak Now win? Yes, because that means Leslie Odom Jr. gets closer to the that would get him an EGOT, wouldn't it? Didn't it win the Golden Globe?
I don't know. Let me see. Why am I fucking doing this? Let me. All right, I'm going to the accolades section of this. It did not. No.
Okay, what won the Golden Globe?
And also, it doesn't matter because it would need to be a Grammy, not a Golden Globe.
Oh, sorry. He's got a Grammy for Hamilton. He's got a Grammy for Hamilton.
He's got a Grammy, but does he have an Emmy?
No, probably not.
I'm looking. Because he got nominated for an Emmy. He got nominated for an Emmy for Central Park, which is a wonderful show.
I was just about to say, I know it wasn't Supernatural, but I remember his episode on it. That was when I'm like, I like this guy.
No, he's the lead. He's the lead voice actor on Central Park, which is a musical from co-created by Lauren Bashar, the creator of Bob's Burgers, and Josh Gad. It's a very fun, delightful show on Apple TV. But if it was up to me, since I don't remember.
Yes, Curtis, I agree with that one. Yeah. One of the few takes of yours I'll ever agree with.
Yeah, the score for Tenet was definitely shocking, but also I think that a lot of what happened with Tenet really left a sour taste in people's mouths. They were lukewarm on the film itself, and then the way that it went about actually coming out might have like been a hindrance and stuff like that.
Yes. Can we talk about the surprise in the best original song? Because I didn't see Eurovision.
I love Husavik. All right, I think that Eurovision is about 15 to 20 minutes too long, but I also think that it is a silly delight. And I have listened to Husavik a bunch. I've listened. It should have been Ya Ya Ding Dong. It should have been Ya Ya Ding Dong.
Great things about this. Like everybody's freaking out because
the movie's not great by any means. It is totally serviceable, but it is also so silly and delightful. And like I enjoy it quite a bit. I gave it like a 3.5 out of 5, and that's where I'd still sit. I would never put it at a 4. But it's a lot of fun, and I just think it's like Husavik is like the emotional song, like the big emotional moment for the film, and it works because of everything that was building up to it. I wish that they went with the joke song from it, which was play Ya Ya Ding Dong. Play Ya Ya Ding Dong. They're doing songs in their hometown in Iceland, And whenever they're trying to do their original stuff, there's a guy in the audience at this bar when they play. And every time they try to do stuff, he's in the back and all he does is scream, play Ya Ya Ding Dong over and over again. And all Ya Ya Ding Dong is explaining how much like they love, like how much I love you. But they're doing it in like, it's obviously like describing a dick too.
So it's like the Beaver song from How I Met Your Mother.
Yeah, it's like there's a line. It's like my love for you is growing wide and strong, and it's all sorts of.
Yeah,
but I also sort of wish, even though I haven't really listened to it, I know that Amazon was pushing for what was the song from Borat? The Wu Chan, the Wuhan. What is it called? The Wuhan something or other.
I know what you're talking about now.
I'm looking for the name of the song. Wuhan Flu. That was it. Wuhan Flu. He made a song in the movie called Wuhan Flu, and then they turned it into like a full-on song. So, yeah. And I mean that's really it with that. I mean, I'm fine with Speak Now. That makes sense. I bet it'll win. But I don't know. I haven't heard Fight for You.
Fight for You is one, if I remember correctly, at the Globes.
Yeah, I believe so. I don't care enough to actually check, but
I got it. I'm pulling it up right now.
Yeah,
but no. Like I guess that's just my bias coming out because I want to see Leslie.
It also did not.
It did
not get. I'm looking. The Life Ahead. Iocene. It's Diane Warren. Okay. Diane Warren is like gunning for that because I don't know if you know this about Diane Warren. I've seen this thing. She's never won an Oscar. Okay, she's been nominated 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. This is her 12th Oscar nomination for original song, and she's never won. All right. Partis, it was never going to win it. It was never going to be nominated. It was never nominated. That's the studio paying off the Golden Globes. They're not a real awards group. You don't have to mention music. It was never going to be nominated.
You want to know how the Globes are not a real awards group? Because I have firsthand knowledge to know that the Hollywood Foreign Press was flown into Cleveland while they were filming Cherry for a set visit.
Yeah,
and Cherry didn't get no award. Like the Hollywood Foreign Press Association is just shady as all hell. They like their free.
They like their free stuff, and thank God they didn't give any awards recognition to Cherry because Cherry was fucking garbage.
Yes, it was.
But okay, so Diane Warren's the one behind "How Do I Live" from Con Air. How do I live without you? Or do you know that song?
Dude, I haven't watched Con Air in like 10 years.
Oh man, she's also the one behind "I Don't Want to Miss a Thing" from Armageddon. She's the one who wrote that. Did you ever? She got an Oscar nomination for the song "Grateful" for "Beyond the Lights," which is very good. "Nothing's Gonna Stop Us Now." Is that the one that I think?
And we can build a bridge together.
Yeah, I think so. From the movie Mannequin.
Okay,
that was nominated. Nothing's gonna. Yeah, that was her first Oscar nomination. She's been nominated so many times and she's never won. She was the one behind "Stand Up for Something" with Common for Marshall. Anyways, enough about Diane Warren being a loser. Let's talk about who the big winner might be for Best Picture, because I think that's what we got left.
We got score, and we got score and Best Picture. Score, I'm just giving it to Five Bloods. Give Terrence Blanchard an Oscar.
I mean, I would love for him
Soul
to get it.
Is a close second.
It's gonna go to Soul, probably. Because Soul's been like cleaning up, and it's also like it's an incredible score. But I would love to see Terrence Blanchard get it. But it'd be cool if John Batiste became an Oscar winner just for making some fucking jazz.
Just trust me. Sorry, talking to my girlfriend.
Hello.
I was talking to my girlfriend because dogs barking her head off.
Yeah. I mean, it could be. I'd love for it to be Terrence Blanchard. It's going to go to Soul, I think, because I don't think that the Oscar voters are going to do a split the vote thing on
Trent Reznor and Atticus Ross.
For Trent Reznor and Atticus Ross for that one, because I don't know. It's because Soul has the support behind it from everyone for score. Yeah. So, but now we got Best Picture. Which had. So,
just
so they can have up to 10 nominees, and they repeatedly are like, "Let's do 8.
Let's do 7. Let's do 8. Let's do 7. Let's do it." That's what it always feels like. Rarely ever do 9. We get the full 10.
It's like, so Scott Weinberg, who he's a producer, he's written some stuff. He's on. I follow him on Twitter. He made a comment online that really resonated. Or it made perfect sense.
Is that the one I
yes, the one where I corrected you.
Yes, thank you.
There were 8 slots. And there are 8 movies that were nominated. None of them were To Five Bloods. And because you're going to have up to 10, what that means is that to the Academy and their sliding scale fucking preferential voting system, no movie being nominated is better than To Five Bloods being nominated.
They really hate Spike. That's all I got to say. They really hate Spike Lee. That's all I got to say.
Judas is the big surprise here. Judas and the Black Messiah is the big surprise.
That wasn't the surprise to me because I felt like there was all this build up towards it for the last
month. Yeah, I get that, but
because it was quiet for the most part. People were like, "Oh, cool, we're getting." It's got Daniel Kaluuya and Lakeith Stanfield. I'll check it out. The trailers weren't necessarily strong for Judas.
I think that it did a really good job. I think that out of all of the films and the way that they've built up, the biggest surprises that I'm obviously happy about are Minari, Sound of Metal, and Judas and the Black Messiah. I think that Minari had the strongest foothold for a Best Picture nominee out of all of those. And then Sound of Metal, because it was picking up steam with a lot of nominations and stuff. Judas and the Black Messiah was really primarily in the awards contest a Daniel Kaluuya award thing to watch out for. Anything outside of that were going to be like the bigger surprises. So that's why I would say Judas was actually the biggest surprise for me. There are 2 slots. If all of these stayed where they were, movies that I expected would have been nominated but weren't. And I say expected because I just did not expect The Five Bloods because Netflix let it down hard. It would have been actually like probably One Night in Miami and Ma Rainey. Not saying Ma Rainey was the best movie of the year, but it had so much of this groundswell of support. But I am fine with it not being nominated. But like that's another one that didn't get nominated. One Night in Miami, I think, is actually the biggest surprise for me that didn't get nominated for Best Picture. Surprise! I knew To Five Bloods wasn't going to get in. I was already devastated. I already accepted that it wasn't going to happen. But One Night in Miami is very, very disappointing that it didn't get that. I'm thinking off the top of my head of anything else that could have been nominated that wasn't. I'm going to go to my rankings of 2021.
Invisible.
Yeah, Invisible Woman or Invisible Man. Invisible Man, it was so good, but there was never going to be anything that was going to happen. I would have loved if it got Best Actress.
Agreed.
And Best Score, maybe even Visual Effects. I wish that Palm Springs got a screenplay nomination, actually, now that I think about it. I wish that, Dick Johnson Is Dead got a nomination for Best Documentary, because I thought that was incredible. Other than that, I mean, it's pretty much all. That's really it. I think in terms of the actual movies that were nominated, once again, Mank is probably the weakest one here.
Agreed.
And then Trial of Chicago 7 is the next weakest one. And then the rest of them are all really strong. I haven't seen The Father because no one's seen The Father. But yeah. I guess another thing I'll bring it up again. There are some like great things that happen though with the Oscars. Like, you know, you have the first, I think, Asian American actor to ever be nominated for Best Actor.
First director of color, female director of color.
Yes, first female director of color. There are first time Muslim actor had been nominated for Best Director or for Best Actor. First time there have been 2 Asian actors nominated for Best Actor, for Riz Ahmed and Steven Yeun.
Mm-hmm.
Is this the first time there have been 2 Black women that have been nominated at the same time? It feels like that with the Academy's history.
No, I think there's another. situation.
Yeah. But another thing, though, is that is not great. Is this is another year when you think about, you know, who could be a deserving director. This is another year that the Academy is like, there are some really great, deserving Black directors, and let's give it another year before maybe we decide to recognize them.
I'll say this because I have a feeling we are going to have someone who's Black winning the Best Actor and the Best Supporting Actor, and not best Supporting Actress. There's not even
Maybe
a single Black
Actress.
person. Maybe Best Actress. We've come a long way from a few years ago when it was Oscar so white.
I mean, last year there was a single everyone was white except for Cynthia Erivo.
Yep.
That was when I learned that there's such thing as white Spanish people. Always learning. Didn't know that about Antonio Banderas. But yeah, that's you always learn. You always try and like shift your perspective a bit more. Yeah. I get what you're saying, but like director still.
I know. Director still they got a while to go because my man Spike deserved it. Shaka deserved it. I would put both for Fincher. It's
Shaka. So it's funny because 2 big titles that have gone to streaming in the last month had very big, in a lot of ways, Scorsese vibes to them. Shaka King's Judas and the Black Messiah, I think, felt very much like it was influenced, I think, a lot by like younger Scorsese. And then the other one being fucking Cherry. And one of them was like, yes, I love
both filmed in Cleveland, by the way.
Well, only one of those Cleveland films was good, and glad it was the one that was nominated.
Oh, you can't say that. You can't say that in the Cleveland film industry, man. They'll come at your head. Trust me.
I'm not in the fucking Cleveland film industry. Cherry was trash.
I know. I told people that. You know, how could you say that? Because it's not good.
It's okay. I mean, that's like, it's like I watched Shazam, and I'm like, there's definitely, that's not Philadelphia. Like as I'm watching the movie because I'm in Philly, and that's not Philadelphia.
That's Toronto.
That's Toronto. But just because I'm from somewhere doesn't mean that I give a shit about if it's good. If I say it's good or bad.
No. Because the thing is, in this. When it came to Cherry Hill. Yeah. When it came to Cherry, here's the issue I've had with people. It brought jobs to the area, this, that, and the other. How can you say? I'm like, because it's not good.
You could say, congratulations. I'm glad those people got paid. Movie's still shit.
Like,
all these movies.
Did I enjoy the last hour? Yes, more than you. I know you did. You're like, it was more interesting, but I didn't enjoy it. I enjoyed the last hour enough. I'm not saying I loved it or I liked it. I enjoyed it enough.
That goofy fucking smile when he walks out of prison is the silliest thing. And he's supposed to be like fucking 40 years old.
Did you? No, he's supposed to be mid-30s. Did you hear the only reason why he had that mustache in the scene?
Why?
Because they filmed those parts the day after Halloween, and he was what's his name from Dodgeball, Ben Stiller's character. So they liked how he looked in the mustache.
Superman's CGI mustache is better than fucking Tom Holland's mustache.
I think we probably lost Partis shitting on Cherry.
That's fine. Cherry lost everyone when people watched it. But yeah, I mean, overall, mixed bag. There's some great stuff in there, but maybe it's like there are a couple of big titles that should have, gotten in there that deserved it. There's always going to be that happening with the Academy. The big thing is like there are so many people that they add every year that it's not like one of those things where you can just blame it on like one small group of people like the Globes. These are like thousands of people that voted to get these.
And there are people who work in the industry at that too.
And those are the ones. And so, yeah, a lot of people probably vote for stuff that are like in their group.
Yeah, that's how it works.
In their circle, like their studio, the people that they like their friends, they might want to vote for those things too. And that's how probably stuff like Mank gets through.
Dude, do you know what I do? They have an Academy card when they go to theaters, and all they got to do is flash it, and they get to see the movies for free. I'd kill for that.
But, I mean, there are a lot of things I'm happy with. Very happy about Promising Young Woman. Very happy about Sound of Metal. Very happy with some of the Judas and the Black Messiah stuff.
You only say some because Lakeith Stanfield should not be in supporting actor.
But I'm also so like conflicted because I'm like, yes, Lakeith Stanfield was awesome in that movie.
Academy Award
nominee, Lakeith Stanfield. In supporting, what the fuck? It's like an asterisk next to like being excited about it. So, Emerald Fennell is nominated for 3 Academy Awards herself just for this. There's a lot of great stuff in here, and some weird stuff, some good surprises, some snubs that I'm okay with. Snubs that I'm not okay with. So, it's the Oscars.
Well, that's always the Oscars, and I will never be okay with the Delroy Lindo snubs. Never.
Nope. And everyone was fucking pushing from day one.
Get this man an Oscar. And
I think the moment, and I know it's terrible I don't mean to say it in like a way that like is to like be off-putting. I think that the moment that Chadwick Boseman passed, Netflix was like, well,
we're going to push Living Hell to my race.
Because they were able to get Mank through sheer Fincher will of the Academy liking that shit. They didn't have to worry about any of that stuff with Sorkin. So yeah, but that's it. I don't have any other thoughts at the moment.
Partis, we're right there with you.
Yep, absolutely.
And I did it before. Again, folks, remember, get your Nominate Delroy Lindo, you coward shirts from Super Yacht.
Yeah, I might actually try and get that.
I'm going to see you on Schmoe Me The Money one day. Nominate Delroy Lindo.
Absolutely.
So, Jeff, where can everyone find you?
You can find me at GEOFF1106. That is my Twitter account. I also have here the Twitter account for our channel, Schmoe Me The Money. It is at Schmoe Me Money. We just started a Twitch account as well. If you could please go and follow us there. We're trying to get to 50 followers for that too. So we could do everything at the same time on YouTube and Twitch. We're doing all sorts of fun stuff there. We got our next show tomorrow night, Tuesday, March 16th.
I'm shocked you guys don't go to Facebook too.
At 9. We're doing one at a time, figuring it out as we go. It's still early days. 9 o'clock Eastern, 6 Pacific.
Who's on this
we're
week?
Going to be talking about last. We got I believe it's Jay Wade from Speaking of Schmoedown. We've got Billy Belford of C2A, and we got The Juice from What the Show. Nice. So it'll be a fun discussion. And yeah, we got the family show this Thursday night at 9:30 Eastern. That's where we break down the Fast and Furious franchise one movie at a time. We
2
have no
more weeks till I'm
on. Yeah, we got no reason to actually talk about Fast and Furious at the moment. There's nothing going on with them.
Wait, and you know what's funny? Originally, this was leading to the release date of Fast 9, and then it got pushed back.
When I thought about it, I'm like, oh, that's funny because like when we're done, then we're like within a couple weeks of Fast 9, and then they pushed it. Like literally, when we announced that we were going to do the show because we thought it was a fun idea, 20 minutes later, Universal's like, nah. And then of course Saturday, I don't know the time yet, we're still figuring it out. We're going to be talking Falcon Winter Soldier, and
it's
I
looking
believe
like
Matt
it's looking like 8.
Yeah, I mean we could have done a little later, but I got to be on PJ Campbell Network thing, and then I think we're
going to be having our spoiler review of Snyder Cut here at 9 on Sunday, 9 Eastern. So I'm going to be, I already told I might be jumping out of Winter Soldier early, depending on what time we get out. But you can also go see our real review of Snyder Cut right now. That is me and Nick. It's a 19-minute non-spoiler, or it's a non-spoiler review, and that's a good time. And then in about an hour, you can catch me back here with Chris Anthony Lopez and welcoming on our special guest, Suge Knight 323. Suge is back in the sphere, and we're glad to be able to be on here with him.
So, and yeah, we're going to probably have our own Snyder Cut review on Sunday.
Yeah.
No telling that. Yeah, so I'll see. I'm going to watch it. Here's what I'm doing is I'm going to watch it, and based on how I feel about it will be whether or not I will end up being on there. If I'm just going to end up shitting on it, there's no reason for me to be on there. I like to try and keep a critical eye open. Everything I hear is much more positive. I'm intrigued. I do not like the last 2 films in that series. But Snyder isn't necessarily he's completely not. He's not completely to blame. I am very interested, and I'm going in with an open mind, and I hope it surprises me.
Yeah, just remember, keep your eyes ready to get adjusted for that IMAX ratio. Yeah, it's great. It's just great. Super
excited for that to use my whole TV screen. Wait, it's not using the whole TV screen?
No, it's not.
But it's being released. But it's being released at home.
Yes. Okay. Hey, we took our subtle jab at it in our review because Nick and I are like, you know what? Let's put the bars on the side. Why not?
Yeah. So, anyways, all right. I got nothing else to say.
That's the show. So thank you for everyone who was watching. This was another Who Are They? Real Talk. And have a good one.
Adieu, adieu. Parting is such sweet sorrow.
You're still here? It's over.